Okay. Very good. No echo. Great. Perfect. Well, welcome to Mindful Cardio and Strength. My name is Ingrid. We're going to be working here. I'm working a little remotely today. We are in San Miguel de Allende, Mexico. So the backdrop behind me is not a Wisconsin backdrop. Different plants around and different space to teach. So cross our fingers, everything stays online and we're able to continue on today without any issues. We have the church bells going, maybe you can hear that. I think they're probably on the hour. And but if there is any issue with our internet, I will try to connect again a couple of times. If for some reason I still can't get on, we'll send a video, or if it's later in the class, we'll just call it a good class. So that'll be the procedure here today. So I wanted to start a little bit with some mat things, and we'll just do a little bit of warm up, and then we'll do a little more of that cardio piece. So if you have your device, start using it now just for curiosity. See where you're at in your heart rate. If you have that strap on or a different wrist device. And I just wanted to start with some, just like I said, getting warmed up on the mat. Then I'm going to throw my shoes on and maybe move my mat out of the way for some. For most, I don't have any equipment here, so I'm going to be doing the heart rate thing with a little bit more creativity today. All right, so let's just feel the beat. Spreading the toes. Taking in a breath. Breath out. And then let's go ahead and roll down. Take the head forward. Just let that be kind of a ragdoll feel. And then rolling down, belly pulls in. And finding yourself tipped over here. And a nice deep breath down at the bottom. And maybe one more for good measure. And then rolling up. Oh, that felt so good. Let's do one more. You can do a little bit faster if you'd like. And finding your way out. So let's go ahead and take our hands out in front with our palms extended a little bit here, and then push out. You can push as much as you'd like through the heel of your hand to encourage that movement, and pull back and push and pull back. Push and pull back. It's working with the shoulders a little bit, opening up the chest. Reminding the body about that way we work with push-ups in standing, right? No weight on it. So probably feel a little bit of your own resistance, kind of push, pull, push, pull. You can let your hands relax on that pull back, push, pull back. Good. And then bring the arms down. And let's work with the legs a little bit here. Just heel raises, so the feet in parallel. And I'm just going to come up, balls to the feet, and back down. Balls to the feet, spread the toes. See how that feels. Up and down. Down. More times like that. Spread the toes. Good. Feeling a little more agile in the feet and the calves. Good. I'm going to walk to the back of my space. And then use that roll down we did earlier. Nice breath out. And then take that breath forward. So go ahead and take the hands down to the mat. You can walk them out, or you can come down to your hands and knees. Let's everybody find their way to hands and knees, actually. Just start here and then spread the hands out. We woke them up a little bit, but now they get a little more weight on them. The knees get weight on them. And just kind of see where you're at in your torso as well. So if you tend to sink a little bit in your back, go ahead and pick that up a little bit with the front body. And then let's extend one leg out and get that nice stretch for the leg. So the leg is working to bring that leg back. So to extend the knee, my front of my leg works. And then I reach that heel back. This feels nice and strong. Then bring it back to the mat and extend out again. And the other side, so same thing, squeezing the quad quite a bit to open the knee and reach the heel back and get a little bit of a nice stretch. And then bring those knees back. And then let's crawl back. So I'm gonna just stay on my knees, move the hands back, come back to the feet, roll up. Grab in and roll back down. Walk the hands out. This time go straight into that plank position. And feel the hands, get that weight, but also not just the palms of your hands. You can also find a little bit of weight into the pads of the fingers, even the pads of your thumbs. And you can also give your elbows that little turn outward to just open the chest again. And then I'm going to check in with my belly. See if I can bring my back, my vertebra up towards the sky. 3, 2, 1. And then let's go ahead and bring the knees down and walk the hands back. Back to the feet, roll up. I'm going to walk back to the center of my mat. How are we feeling? Getting a little more alive? Maybe you've moved a little more than I have today. Still kind of recovering from my travel. And I'm also at altitude here, so I've definitely been feeling that. My practice will look probably pretty tampered down today. So if you need to up it on your end, I'll give you those opportunities. So let's have a little softness in the knees. And let's give a little bend, the shins forward, bend, shins forward. The ankles that way. Good. And the next time you come down, go ahead and stay there. Kind of a high chair position. So I'm not coming down all that far, but shins forward is my thought. Bring the hands to the head here. And let the torso come forward a little bit. Give a little twist. Back to center. And then let's come back up. Bend the knees. Torso comes forward a little bit. Twist. Back to center. Up. Bend. Twist. Center. Up. Bend. Twist. Center. Up. And your challenge here is as you bend, or as you twist, knees aren't shifting, hips aren't shifting. Let's do one more. You may see Sabrina here. Go ahead and bring your hands down. Hi, Sabrina. All right. Back to the back of our mat. Let's see if Sabrina gets out of the way or sits down. Hopefully she doesn't. No, don't sit down. Go ahead and roll down. No, not there. I have to go over the top of you. Over the top. You're welcome to bring your knees down. I'd like to work a little bit with your push-ups. So if knees are down and your hips come in line, your head comes in line, and those elbows go out, go ahead and see if the chest can come down a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to be that the chest comes all the way down to the floor. I'm getting quite a bit out of this, maybe 50% here, half of the way down, 30%, something like that. Just want to get warmed up. I don't want to forget to do my push-ups. Good. And then go ahead and reach back. If you like, you can do a nice roll, that cat pose here, nice roll up. And then let's go ahead and come down to the belly with your hands by your side. Let's get into both of our kinds of push-ups, because we have a push-up where our elbows go out and we're wide with the hands, and we have a push-up that we can also work that's a little more brought inward. So the elbows are in by your side and the hands are in by your side. And we get a little more extension here. So we get to extend through the crown of the head, long back of the neck. Breath comes in. And then go ahead and press with your hands, but keep the elbows in. And maybe you lift your chest, your ribs, your belly, and you come back down. Relax the back of the head. The brim of my head's in the way a little bit, but you'll notice I'm tucking my chin to get that length in the back of the neck. Get that nice length, then turns into lift. And exhale, press. If you'd like, press all the way up to the knees. And back down. Lengthen the back of the neck. Exhale, press. And then go ahead and find your way to that cat pose again. Rounding. Wagging your imaginary tail. And then we'll come up to our feet. I'm going to slip on my shoes. So if you're working with a piece of equipment or you're working with the step, we're going to do that a little bit now. And I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff on the floor. You're welcome to join me. Just going to be a lot of different things that you can do if you're traveling, like I am. I don't have all that equipment with me. So give this a little, I think it'll be more in my way. My page wants to blow open. Okay, so checking in with mindfulness to your feet. Let's start with a little bit of a walk. How are you feeling? How's your heart rate doing? Mine's a little bit elevated for what I'm doing. Lift the knees here a little bit. Feel like a march. You're welcome to march faster if you'd like. You're welcome to slowly find your way, if you're on your equipment, to your zone 2. Yeah, so starting with some marching, some high knees. Arms a little bit to add down. You know, we add both. Get a little more cardio going. Some light weights here too today. So keep my arms moving. That. Lift the legs up again high for a few counts. Good. So my next exercise is going to be the tap in front. That's some tapping. I can take my hands out in front as well. If I wanted to, I can add a little skip in there. But I noticed I tried this earlier. Heart rate goes up quite a bit being at this altitude still. Not been here for very long. So maybe in 3 weeks. It would be a little easier. Arms down. A little bit of whatever my arms want to. Good. And then back to marching a little bit. How are you both doing? How's everyone doing out there? If you're watching this on the recording, you're finding your zone 2. And then also in this space, can we find the sensations in the body? So cueing into the feet inside the shoes if they are, or whatever the feet are touching, to the hands that might be holding weight so that maybe have nothing, but how do the hands feel? So we're really here for this practice. And again, checking in with our heart rate. That's part of our mindful piece, isn't it? To stay in that zone 2. In our weights work, sometimes we spike a little bit more, like doing those push-ups. We might go up out of that zone 2, but while we're doing this cardio piece, we can stay there. All right, next is taking some sumos. Take the feet wide, and some sumo squat here. A little faster than I would do in my movement lab. A little faster than I would do in Pilates and strength. Maybe. You sometimes get a little cardio in there. Your weights are on the lighter end. This might be fine too. You're to do your weights like I am. They're a little heavy. You might want to do one and then weight, and another one, and then weight. All right, I'm going to come down and pulse. Down and pulse here. I've got my heart rate going. Probably sweetly in that zone 2 here. Little pulse. And then go ahead and come back up. Do some side to side taps here. Some wider steps, tap. Hold these weights up. Try to mix it up so they're not always down. My weights are a little bit lighter. I can move up here. Good. So I can tell you today I'll be kind of switching my exercise and explaining those. I can tell you a little bit about what I know about San Miguel if you're interested in that. Why I'm here. All right. I'm going to take my legs wide. And I'm going to do a punch across. Punch. I'm going to let that back foot tap. San Miguel de Allende is in the middle of Mexico. It's at about 6,000 feet. It's mountainous around me, but not mountains like Denver. I have a couple of contacts here, so friends to visit. And way back when, I went to school in Mexico. So, paused here. Could I come back? Hello, hello. Hopefully everything is okay. It seemed to freeze for a moment there. On back. On back. Come on back. Okay, are we back? Sorry about that if I disappeared. I hope everybody is back here. Maybe there wasn't too much on your end. I could just tell that I wasn't showing up, moving. Good. So I was telling you a little bit about why Mexico. Spent some time here in my college days, but I was in Puebla. So spent a whole year going to school and ended up getting a master's degree in Spanish eventually. I switched my movement up, squat, up, squat, up, squat, up, squat, up, squat. Still feeling your body. How's your heart rate doing? All right, let's go ahead and bring that down. Okay, I'm going to come back to some high knees here. So San Miguel and some of these other parts of Mexico, when I told people I was headed to Mexico, of course I would like to come here in the middle of the winter, but I'm able to bring my 2 daughters and my husband now. Not all here right now, but they will be because we're off, the school schedule. But when I tell people I'm going to Mexico, a lot of people think you're headed to the beach. And love the beach. Wouldn't mind going to the beach. It's probably pretty hot there right now. But there's this whole other part. Mexico is quite big. Lots of other parts of Mexico to visit. Feel the culture in different states of the country. And San Miguel has a lot of architecture. It has cobblestone streets, lots of churches, and there's quite a few people who decided to call San Miguel home who aren't Mexicans as well. Maybe in your back pocket if you're a traveler, check out something pretty different. Different than the life at home for sure. All right, start to feel my heart rate creep up a little bit. All right, I'm gonna work a little bit with the sprinter lunge. And if you're working along with me, you use something to hold on to, a wall or chair back. I think I'm steady enough to work without it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start that. So I could take a tap forward to tap and back, tap and back, tap Or lift that knee up and swing the arms along. And the arms a little more active, the elbows bent. Kind of like you're rolling a little bit. 4 more. 3, 2, 1. And then switch. And I'm going to start with tapping my footing. Spread my toes out. These nice shoes I can spread my toes. And then a few more of that knee lifted. Good. How's it going on your end? Hopefully everybody finding their zone 2, staying in that zone 2 yet, whether you're going upstairs, using your stair stepper. Remember those step things that we did in the last few weeks? Hear my breath come up a little bit. Remember how we did those wide steps with the step? Wide step, tap, wide step, tap, wide step, tap. So I haven't got my imaginary step out here. I'm just going to walk that out. So I'm stepping up. That works. Do a little more research for you about this place if you'd like to know more. Prepare something else for next week. We'd rather be talking about something other than travel. Rather be talking about restorative poses. Not that we would do them, but if there's some other topic, let me know. I was talking last week a little bit about that lifespan book. I'll be reading more of that. Happy to share about tips and research that's being done to extend, not only extend our lives, but I think make our lives healthier longer. And while there are some tips that are health things that you would expect, get enough sleep, exercise, eat the right things. There's a lot more in the book than just that. So happy to share if that's of interest. But please do let me know, since we're in this class, you're in this class, you have a voice. Go ahead and let me know what, if anything, you'd like me to talk about besides the actual exercises we're doing, and then just staying mindful of the body. I'm gonna come back to the center here. What's next on my list? Oh, so earlier I was working with a punch across like this, and now I'm going to kind of punch down. So I'm going to add a little bit of that squat movement or a little knee bend, reach down. And I'm going to stop in the middle, arms up, reach down, up, down, up, down. Nice. More here. How are you doing over there? I expect really well. How's the weather in Wisconsin if that's where you're at? We do get people doing this class from some other places, Utah, Arizona. There I can hear my accent. We met some people from Texas on our travels. And the gentleman said, "You don't have a Wisconsin accent." And I said, "Just wait. It's there. It's hard to not have an accent." Go ahead and come back to standing. I know my heart rate up, actually. All right. A couple more things to get done here. And I'm amazed. Of course, again, I'm at altitude. I don't have to add too much craziness to get into that zone 2. Right here I am, hardly anything. I could do this whole practice without these weights. Got my elastics here. I will use those in a moment just to give myself a little more pull on, because these are 1 kilo, not really very heavy. So I'm gonna work on a lunge. I'm gonna take that foot back, lunge, and hook that arm. Lunge and hook. Lunge and hook. Stay on that same side, but we could switch it up and do alternate. About 4 more. All right, back to my walk. And then the other foot, that other foot forward. And give that hook. Good. Last 3, 2, 1. Back to standing. All right. 2 more minutes here. Staying in our heart rate zone. Those birds. Feeling my feet. We can use all of our senses. You know, if you've been taking any of the classes with Scott, but if you haven't, taking in those senses, we start with body senses and what we can feel. We can also use sight, hearing, taste. We use all of those as our places to kind of check in and stay mindful, stay with the body. So I'm going to come into a sumo here, and I'm going to move a little bit more. I'm going to do that squat, cactus arms, step up, arms up, squat, arms up. I'm just going to do that to one side to start. So if you are taking this step with me, feel that foot land over there. Take it slower. Feel my heart rate go up already. And now I'm going to take it to the other side for a few. Other side. Cactus. Arms up. Cactus. Arms up. Cactus. Land the feet. And see if you can land them gently, softly. What's that like to land that foot softly? Back up. Soft. Back. Soft. Back up. This kind of movement gets the heart rate going. Let's go ahead and check in the heart rate. Seconds if you were counting like I was. Pretty sure that got me into a little bit higher than my zone 2. So taking that number that I had, it was high 30s times 4, 120, at least, but it feels even a little more excited just because I've been traveling tired and now I'm at that elevation. So I'm dealing with a lot of things, trying not to get overzealous with my work here. Okay, I'm gonna do one more. In a sumo position, more. This one's more of a hold here. I'm just gonna take the arm across. I'm gonna transition a little bit. I'm gonna grab my elastics. Combination. I'll probably do some with these yellow weights, some with the elastics, so that you know a little more weight work before we wrap up. This is kind of a nice one here. Holding that squat. If I had more weight here, I'd be cooked already. So if you are working with 5 pounds or more, you're probably thinking it's time to come up. Got less than that. As we know, a little less, you can probably do a few more repetitions. 3, 2, 1. And then stepping the feet together. Whew. And I'm going to keep my weights for this next one, just standing, be a standing position. Let my heart rate come down again a little bit. It's down lower than it was. Still hear me popping a little bit. Just do some overheads. We're going to do coming down to the sides. If you have a little heavier weight, not your heaviest, go ahead and take that up and all the way down. Up, all the way down. We did some overhead movement already. So it's a little more pointed. So even though I've got these lighter weights, I'm really thinking about shoulder blade moving up, shoulder blade tucking in, elbows tucking in, getting a little squeeze. Up, and a squeeze, up, squeeze, up, squeeze, up, and squeeze. While my weights are light, this one's starting to show up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Come it down. All right. I would like to do a little bit of band work here. Go ahead and grab my band, a little bit longer one. I have a longer one and a little shorter one. Let's see how this will work. I'm going to take that band up in front, under the side. I wrapped it around my fingers. We'll see how that works. I might end up switching that. Elbows bent, and I'm going to see if I can pull out just a little. The band isn't perfect. If you have your weights, you can do the weights because you could open up further if you wanted to into this W. If I open up any further, it comes right to my nose, which is fine. Breeze feels good. Feeling everywhere. It's sunny outside here. That's where we got better light though. How are you doing with this one? Okay. Unravel. Take that here to the floor. I'm going to cinch up on it depending on what kind of pull you have here. And again, if you have higher weights, that'll work fine here. We're going to work with that roll. Rolling up. Good. Elbows in at your sides, low roll. All right. Good. Have a little bit of that in. Go up to standing. Stand on it again. 1 foot, just so I have lots of room, especially if you have a 4-foot strap, you only have to do 1 foot. And I look at biceps. So my little weights there, it would take a lot of kind of attention for me to get a little more effort there. So I'm going to use my elastic. If you have heavier weights for these bicep drills, you go ahead. All the way up. Resist, flopping down. All the way down. Good. A couple more here. Get in those arms. That arm stuff is so great. Keep those arms strong. Muscles working. Your heart rate. You feel those feet soften your knees just a little. And go ahead and let go of that. Good. We'll have to get into triceps yet. One little set of triceps. I'm going to use this band again. So this is a little bit trickier. I like doing that on hands and knees with the band a lot. But I'm going to see if about working here. So my elbows come in. If you're using an elastic, it'll be the same. Same thing, elbows come in, and then elbows, the hands press out. Keep the elbow right there. Good. How many left? Last one. All right. Set your elastic down, props, head and side down. And then let's go ahead and take a roll down. Soften the knees. Oh, let the spine round, the shoulders just like a rig down. If you want to, you can even give yourself a little bit of swing to one side, a little bit of swing to the other side. Back to center. Roll up. Take one arm up. Let's take both arms up. Good Pilates fashion. Both arms up. Drop the shoulders away from your ears and yet keep reaching. Give yourself a little side bend. Come back to center. Keep reaching. Other side. Back to center. And then take that in a little bit different way. Start to tip over. You just get this nice, I get at least, a nice plank and a little reach stretch there. I'm going to soften the knees and let your shoulders then twist toward like you're going to take your fingertips down the outside of this leg. Let your head drop. So as much softness in the knees as you want underneath. And then roll up again to the side and then bring your shoulder back up and around with you. Come on, computer. Come on, internet. Looks like I'm stuck down there. Hopefully be right back with you. There we go. All right, now we'll go to the other side. Dripping down that side. Just pausing a little bit to feel that before your shoulder comes along with both hands heading down that outside of the leg. I'm letting my breath do it wants to exhale. And then coming up, I stay to that side, and then eventually that shoulder comes back up, and I come back up to standing. Good. One more roll down center, just so we end up in the center of things. Letting the head go, and then finding your way back up. All right. 45 minutes, mindful, cardio, strength. Please let me know if you have any feedback. I kind of ask some questions about content, what you'd like to hear about, if I've got a few extra moments in our classes, how today's class went. Please feel free to email or text in the chat, contact me. So have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. See you next week or Thursday or Sunday this week. A couple other classes coming up. Thank you.
Thanks, Ingrid. Couldn't hear everything you said, but it looks like you're.
So you're talking, Ellen, for some reason I'm not hearing you.
I couldn't hear everything you said, but I could follow everything you did. Anyhow, thanks. Great class.